Hey everyone, and welcome to this How to Study Tactics FAQ section. Many people have studied the course and have improved their tactics tremendously, but some questions came up. And in this video, I want to shortly answer the 3 most common questions about this tactics section, and I hope then there are no more open questions for you. Those questions are: is the woodpecker method good? Small spoiler, I don't think it's worth your time. Should you import mistakes into Chessable? Many people work with Chessable and they import their things into Chessable. And should you focus on AI puzzles? So Lichess, for example, how we looked at it. Or should you focus on books if you have a choice, if you want to do the best possible thing? So let's go through them one by one. And here is why I changed my mind on the woodpecker method recently. Well, I never was that sure if I should recommend it or not. I did it myself only with this woodpecker book. By the way, for those people not knowing what the woodpecker method is, it's basically just constantly repeating the same set of tactical exercises. So you do them once, and then you do them again, and then you do them again, and you do them again. You do them 7 times in total. The idea is that then you really burn that tactical theme into your subconscious mind. That's cool. But I changed my mind on it once I heard one of the best coaches in the world, especially for calculation and tactics, Jacob Aagaard, saying that he doesn't like the method too much. And why is that so important? He's not only an amazing coach, but he's also the head publisher of Quality Chess. And Quality Chess is the publisher of the book Woodpecker Method, which propelled this method into the chess world. So him saying that he doesn't like the method too much is against his own financial interest, right? He makes money if the book gets sold more. So I think this is a very strong statement. And as I understand it, he also just thinks there are more downsides. You spend a lot of time. It can be overwhelming. You don't know which puzzles you should do with the woodpecker method, which not, how long, how many times you should repeat, all these things. So there are more downsides than upsides. And I do believe that as well, especially thanks to Jacob sharing his opinion. One thing that I thought about as well is actually repetitive training. I don't think repetitive repeating is something you can say, but that's what I wrote down. So repetitive training is rarely in the 20% that we want to aim that make the 80% of the difference. So if they aren't in the 20%, then that's something we don't want to do. And it just makes things simple. So here's what I recommend. You always just, use a puzzle, you solve it. And as I explained, later on you check the solution, and if it is wrong, you can review the mistakes on the next day or the next time you do puzzles. So for example, you solved 12 puzzles, you had 2 of them wrong, and the next day you come back to your same tactics book, you shortly go through the 2 that were wrong, you think, oh, can I spot the right way now? What did I do wrong? Okay, true, that's what I need to do. I found them, and now you start your new tactical exercises, and that's all of the repetition you need to really make sure that you get these 20% that make for the 80% of the results. With that, the next question might then seem obvious, because if you import mistakes into Chessable, the only idea would be to use their method of repeating the wrong puzzles again. So basically, Chessable with the Move Trainer uses this woodpecker method, which I don't recommend anymore. So that means don't do it. It's too much work for little reward. You need to import them. You need to then Chessable is telling you all the time, no, you need to repeat this and that and this and that. And then you get overwhelmed again, too many things. So just do as said before, very simple, studying and then looking at mistakes, improving the next day. You can look at the wrong puzzles again, and that's it. What I usually do is when I work with books, I will just make a note an X usually for wrong puzzles. So even if you want to get back to the same puzzle book like 1 year later and just see, did I really get better? Can I really solve the ones that I got wrong last time around? You can just do those that were wrong. Again, this is just more for fun, to show yourself, oh, I improved actually, because it's not in the 20% that make for 80% of the results. Last but not least, let's talk about AI puzzles versus human selected puzzles. In the recommendations and how I showed you to work on tactics with Lichess and work on tactics with a book. So Lichess would be AI puzzles, human selected puzzles are in a book, like the step method, for example. And there is a clear preference if you just say you want to get the best training possible. Book puzzles are higher quality. That's what you pay for, right? Most AI puzzles are just free, but book puzzles, they cost. You gotta buy the book because somebody thought about how can I use those puzzles in the best way, or which puzzle should I use to teach you a pattern in the most effective way possible. The second advantage of humanly selected puzzles are human solutions are better and more understandable than AI solutions. Sometimes you will see that the AI solution is very weird, like giving a queen immediately after your first move, just because the engine says that's the best way. But as humans, we have a most critical line. Maybe there is a nice trick 5 moves down the line that leads to checkmate, but if you don't spot that trick, your first move was bad. So the solution should be this one, the most critical line, the most sensible line, the best defensive line in a human way. So human solutions are a little bit better and more precise than AI solutions. Now you might ask yourself, but no, why do you even recommend doing Lichess puzzles if you say humanly selected puzzles are so much better? I think, first of all, it's not such a huge difference. And secondly, it's very important to start with simplicity. I know many people that take this course maybe even don't have a physical chessboard at home. They just try to play online, improve their online chess. And if that's the case, it is too much work to just buy a book, buy a board, and then start working. I want you to get a rhythm of tactics. Get this habit in. Start doing tactics and do them well with a high quality approach. That is much more important at the end of the day than if you do AI or human selected puzzles. So my conclusion is doing AI puzzles is better than doing nothing. That's why I recommend both. But if you're asking me, no, I want to do the most effective way, the best way possible, then I recommend get a book and then solve them in your book. Put those positions on a board if you can, if you have enough time. Else, look at the position in the book and then solve them, write down your solution, just like you saw in a previous video. And remember, action is more important than perfectionism. We want to do things well, but we don't need to do everything perfect. So think for yourself, how can I get a tactic habit going and then do what you prefer between Lichess and a book? And once you get that habit going, you can say, okay, now I really want to squeeze every single bit out of my tactics training. So maybe then it's time to get a book and work on those human selected puzzles. Okay, guys, I hope this helped resolve the 3 most asked questions for this tactics section. If you still have some questions, never hesitate to ask in the Discord. Let me know and start working on your tactics. That is the most important thing. See you in the next section.